According to a 2017 study, more than 800,000 people in the US were living with shoulder replacements in 2017. Shoulder Innovations is a company that focuses solely on shoulder implants. And today they went public on the New York Stock Exchange. I'm joined now by their CEO, Rob Ball. Rob, welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you very much, Ashley. Nice to see you.
So, why does your company focus solely on shoulders?
So what we found over the years is that there has been a broad difficulty with the outcomes with shoulder replacements. You have about as many patients see a physician for shoulder pain each year as you do with knee pain, except we do 3 to 4 times as many knee replacements each year as we would shoulder replacements, because historically the outcomes in shoulder replacement has not been as favorable as it has been in knee. And so most of us know a friend or a family member that's had a knee or a hip replacement, but not as many for shoulder because of these challenges historically. So in recent years, we've meaningfully improved the technology and the level of training for physicians specifically for shoulder difficulties. And so with that specialization and the improved technologies, the outcomes have improved. And so that's put us in a position where you have this very large underserved market, and specialization in this difficult treatment area puts us at a significant advantage in the market to be able to take share.
You're saying that shoulder implants or shoulder replacements sometimes don't take as well. Is there something that your company is doing? Is there anything that's proprietary that's helping to solve for that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's many things. As a team, we have been in this space literally for decades, behind some of the most significant innovations that have transformed shoulder arthroplasty as a procedure and the outcomes. One thing specifically is what we call the inset technology. What the inset technology does is solves for the main problem in anatomic shoulder arthroplasty, which is loosening of the component that attaches to the scapula or the shoulder blade side of the joint. Historically, there's been challenges with that part of the joint replacement where it would actually over years come loose away from the scapula bone. And so we've developed a technology called the inset glenoid that we believe solves for that and then does provide better outcomes. We've published a number of peer-reviewed studies that have shown favorable results using our technology.
And what differentiates Shoulder Innovations from other companies that provide body implants?
Yeah, so the one thing, as you already pointed out, is our level of specialization has allowed us to build what we characterize as an ecosystem. Of course, part of that ecosystem is our very much market-leading technology specifically related to the implants, but we also couple that with a couple other very important advantages that really change the workflow to some degree in the way these procedures are performed. So one of those is our preoperative planning platform. So what we do is we allow surgeons to take CT data of their patients or three-dimensional data of their patients, and it passes through an AI algorithm in our software platform, which allows the surgeon to actually do a shoulder procedure virtually before they step in the operating room to make sure that they're perfectly prepared in order to provide the optimum outcome for the patient. The other fact that's very important about our penetration and our success in the market thus far is there's a meaningful transition for these types of procedures away from inpatient hospital settings to outpatient settings, including the ambulatory surgery center. And one thing that we've changed is we've redesigned the technique in shoulder arthroplasty so that we deliver a much simpler and smaller package to these ambulatory surgery centers, which historically have less resources, less facility to manage what can be a burdensome amount of equipment. So that's put us in a very, in a very different position than some of our competitors in order to serve these patients that would prefer an outpatient setting to an inpatient setting.
And I also know that you sell directly to orthopedic surgeons and you offer a one tray option.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what that means and how that helps your customers save money?
Yeah, so we sell to the facilities that the surgeons are associated with, and the surgeons have a lot of decision-making ability as it relates to what's happening in those procedures. The impact of the one tray platform is multiple. One and most obvious is when you provide the instrumentation to the operating center, they have to decontaminate and sterilize it before and after the procedure. Obviously, there's a cost to that. And if you're sterilizing one tray versus many trays, obviously the cost and the time associated with that is important. It's a lot, so it can be quite burdensome. So the overall cost of the healthcare system can be reduced as a function of that alone. But one thing that's maybe not so intuitive is when you are in an operating room with one tray versus many trays, the entire surgical staff's job is easier. The process is more intuitive. The level of risk of making an error is much lower when you're just dealing with much less material. And what we find is even though some surgeons don't always have to carry the tray and they don't carry the burden of sterilizing that instrumentation, the improved workflow associated with the rest of the staff around the surgeon just provides for a better, lower anxiety, safer environment for everyone.
What's next for Shoulder Innovations after going public?
Yeah. So obviously, we found a public offering here, an opportunity to efficiently bring capital and resources into the organization. We've delivered way above market growth for recent years, and it's because of our technology and the people that we've been able to assemble as an organization. And so we're excited about transitioning away from being a very much an innovation-focused company, but to be an innovation-driven company, but with a commercial organization that's second to none, specifically in this space. You already mentioned how specialized the space is. We will be the only pure-play shoulder company at this level of scale and resources, particularly publicly traded, and that puts us in a position to really generate massive resources behind our commercialization efforts to just accelerate our growth and deliver great overperformance into the future. And of course, we won't stop our innovation story. We have a rich pipeline of products that we expect to bring to patients for benefiting those patients. So.
You have about 60 employees. What is your message for them today in the role that they helped you get to this IPO?
Yeah, sure. So you start with just a huge thank you. I mean, the amount of effort and innovation and just, kind of the environment that we've created to enable this type of progress is just incredible. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of sleepless nights, and so a huge thank you, but also a congratulation. Obviously the process of listing on an exchange in this manner, you go through a lot of scrutiny, and that scrutiny yielded that the marketplace believes that indeed we have provided innovation that's valuable and are delivering it in a way that's effective, and that's a function of the work that our employees have done, and so it's a congratulations for them. But also we have to recognize that we now have an additional set of partners that have expectations. We have an additional group of stakeholders in addition to patients, physicians, and private investors. We now have public investors that are expecting us to deliver spectacular outcomes. And so we have to renew our efforts and double down to indeed deliver the outcomes that all of those stakeholders expect.
Rob Ball, CEO of Shoulder Innovations, thank you so much for joining us at the New York Stock Exchange, and congratulations.
Thank you, Ashley.